Okay, hello everyone. So this video gonna give the step-by-step instructions on installing DBeaver and MySQL for all the Macs, the Mac, either MacBook Pro, MacBook Air. So first, so download the Lecture 11 from Canvas, and you can copy this link and paste into your browser. So here, so for all the macOS, so MySQL offer several versions of this software. So the top two, that's the ARM and x86. So based on the chip of your computer, so if you are using a M1 chip, so you will select the first the ARM version. If you are using a Intel chip, you will select the second version. So you can check this information by clicking on the Apple icon. So you can go to the about this Mac. So for my version, so Retina, so this means the Intel. So if you don't see M1, so your computer is running on the Intel chip, and you should select the second one. Otherwise, you see the M1. So you will select the first version, the ARM version. So I will click on the second one. And so no thanks, just start my download. It takes some time. Okay, so you go to the download folder. So MySQL.dmg. So double click on this file. So click on the PKG file. Double click on that. And see, we'll run a program to determine software can be installed. So continue on that. Continue. Basically agree and install. So now you want to tap your password for your computer. Install software. Okay, so for some version, maybe the old Macs, so it will pop up the password over here. So you will click on next. So use strong password and given the password. And click on finish. Yes, and click on close. So move to trash. But for some of your maybe M1 chips, the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air running on the M1 chip, you don't see the password option during the installation. So you can set the password for your server by go to the Apple icon, click on the system preferences, and you go to MySQL. So you can do so by initialize database. So you can click on this one. So it will ask for the password. So Spring, okay. Click on OK and tap our password. So now you have successfully set up the password for your server. But remember, don't only do this when you don't see the password options during your installation. Okay, so now you have the password for server. Now you want to start the server. Okay, so now your server is running. Okay, and the second software, DBeaver. So we go to the official website of DBeaver, and we go to the download. So for Mac OS, so for Intel, we click on the first one. For all the M1 chip, we click on the second one. For my version, I will click for the Intel chip. Okay, still go to download. So double click on the installer. So you can just drag this app to the application. So since I already have this one, maybe I can click replace. Yes, replace. I can make sure we are on the same page. Okay, so now you have the installed DBeaver. You can delete this installer. Okay, go to the Launchpad. Click on the DBeaver. Okay, so it's denied again. Doesn't matter. Okay, so basically we'll delete everything here. So delete. Okay, so now you have your okay. So now you have your DBeaver and your MySQL server is running. So you can connect to your server by click on new database connection. So click on this icon and you choose the version of your server. So our server is MySQL, so click on MySQL. And then it will ask for the password you just created. So just tap the password and then go to the driver properties and the sixth one. So allow public key retrieval. So by default, it's false. We want to revise to yes. And then we click on finish. So then we double click on localhost. When you see the green check mark, this means you have successfully established a connection to your server. And then, so now we check the databases. You see, so the MySQL already have a systems database inside, but don't touch it. So we want to create a separate database to contain our information. So we can do so by right-click on localhost and go to the SQL editor. So new SQL script. So we will create a database and name as me 2022. And then we'll select this statement and click on the execute button. Click on that. So now you have successfully created a database. So it then show up. Sometimes you need to refresh. Yes. So this time refresh works, but sometimes even though you refresh, the database doesn't show up. In this case, you can disconnect and reconnect. So connect, and you go to the database. So you will see a new database. Okay. So now we have the database, like we have an empty warehouse. So next we want to put some shelf inside, or in this case, we put some tables inside. So we can do so by right-click on the database, right-click over here, and we go to the new SQL script. Okay, so we will create a new table. Create table, and the table name we set as user behaviors, so UBS, and also telling DBeaver to create some attributes for us. So the first attribute is the user ID. So user ID, so that's the integer. The second is the item ID. Item ID, still that's the integer. And category ID, so integer as well. The fourth attribute is user behaviors. So we see it as user behaviors. And so this type is a varchar because it will contain variable characters. So we set at 4, that's the max characters it can accept. And the last one is called timestamp. So we type TS, and that's the integer as well. Okay, so now we select, oh, don't forget the little comma over here. So we select all the statements and click on the execute button. Okay, so if you don't got any warning, that basically means you have successfully created a new table. Okay, we can click on over here. It don't show up. We can refresh. Refresh. Yes, we got the new table over here. Okay, so now we got the database and we also got the table in our database. So the next step is to import some data into our table. Okay, so that part will be explained in next video. Thank you for watching.